How are
Hey,
you? You look so
oh,
cute.
you're so nice. I decided to actually get ready today, which is a first in like a month.
Um, well, because you had
I had
surgery. So,
surgery. Yeah. Had tonsillectomy. It'll be 3 weeks tomorrow, which is wild. So,
I know
yeah.
that was crazy. But
Can you hear me okay?
yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect.
So welcome everyone. This is Kit Hansen, Caitlin Hansen.
One and
She
the
goes
same.
by she goes by both. Her and I met
It was like
2020, 2019.
2019. Yeah. It was 5 years ago. Over 5 years ago.
Yeah. And we were both working somewhere else and we stayed in contact over the years. And then when I came back to run Freshly Picked, I asked Kit if she would come on as my, I don't know, Chief of Susan.
Yeah, that's what we say. Chief of Susan.
Chief of Susan. She runs my life. She helps with a little bit of everything. And that's the beauty of you, Kit, is that you kind of are good at so many things. You're good at
Thank
everything.
you. You're so nice. Thank you.
Yeah. So how has your year been so far?
You know what? It's been good. I was actually talking to, I don't know if other people feel like this, but I was talking to a friend the other day, and maybe it's because I had surgery, so I'm like coming off things, but so far I feel like 2025 feels a little sleepy. Like I'm not as energized as I normally am going into a new year. So I think I just need like another week to kind of get things together and then yeah, gonna hit it hard, but so far it's been good. Like no complaints or anything.
Right, because you had surgery 3 weeks ago. So, like, the first 2 weeks are like
Y-
healing. The next week's
Yeah,
like getting your life back together.
yes, yeah. Because I have two young girls, 5 and 2, and then a couple days before I had my surgery, my husband also broke his foot. So we've just kind of been in like survival mode
Hmm.
for the last couple weeks. And so our house has kind of been a disaster. And I know you're the same way with like if your space isn't in order, it's hard for like my mind to be in order.
Yeah, yeah, no, I need things put away. I feel like my house has kind of been not good for a while. We have a lot of people living with us, which is great. I love having people there.
Yeah,
And right now I'm like in a phase of life where I'm like people over stuff. And
sure.
so that's just for the next little bit and then I can get my life back in order. But Kit came into my office yesterday and it was not working. Like
No.
the flow of it. It looked fine. It just was not working. So we spent like, I don't know, half hour
Yeah.
getting organized here. And I came in today and it feels so much better. I brought my rug in,
Oh,
waiting on my
yay.
couch.
I can't
Yeah,
wait to see.
so we're just gonna be so set. But I am the exact same way. Okay, so tell me how you feel about resolutions and New Year.
Okay, so I have mixed feelings about resolutions.
Okay.
I'm a very like goal checklist oriented person, but I have a hard time like putting certain things on a time frame, and so I like more
Oh,
intentions.
okay.
Um, and I like setting a theme for the year. Um, and then there's like things, and then I just do like things that I want to accomplish. So a little, and they're kind of spread out through things like a personal one, family stuff, an intellectual, a spiritual, job related, things like that. But yeah, love-hate relationship with resolution. So I like to say intentions.
Have you set your theme and your intentions for the year?
Yeah, so we set a family theme together. So as soon as I could talk after my tonsillectomy, I made my whole family sit down and I gave them all a piece of paper and we talked about like what our family theme is. And it's we are a family of problem solvers and we can do anything that we try. So that's going to be like our theme for 2025. And then my like personal theme would be do more with less. And that kind of stems in like a lot of different areas. Like I think from going from working very full time to where I'm part time now, I almost felt like when I was working full time, I was like missing out on things like in my kids' lives. And so then there was like a complete pendulum swing when then I was like, oh, I need to make everything so special, so magical, all these things. And now I've kind of found a balance. And I just like, if I pick a certain activity and just make sure that I'm present, that's going to be way better than trying to do like five different activities where I'm like running around and things. And then spending less money, becoming a little bit more of a minimalist and just like getting rid of things to allow more space for the things that I really love.
Oh, okay. Love it.
What about you?
Um, so I love a resolution. I think for me, resolution's more of a, a like a function
Yeah.
of all of what I'm trying, like of my whole annual strategy. And it's just a good point. Like it's a good time. I love it. New Year. I love the thought of a new beginning. I love the thought of like, you are not who you were in the past. You can be anything you want to be. So I love a fresh slate. I love a fresh piece of paper. I love a fresh book.
Yeah.
Like, I love a newness. And I love reinventing myself and taking stock of like, what am I doing now that is not serving my overall strategy? And making sure that like my resources, be it like mental, emotional, physical, monetary, family, like all of my resources that I have are going towards what I want.
Yeah.
And so I love this time of year. I actually start my goal my like taking stock and like being like auditing my year in November during my birthday. It's like
That tracks for
I
you.
know, so crazy. So I like to do it starting then, and I will like pull out last year's resolutions or last year's goals or whatever I was trying to accomplish. And I will kind of audit like how did I do? What did I do? And if I didn't accomplish or get closer to what I wanted to do or be, why? And a lot of times there's a good reason, sometimes there's not. Sometimes you get started down a path and life takes you in a different direction, and that's great. I love that. That's so fun to be like, oh, now what's over here? But then I love just refocusing and getting back on track. And so I set my goals in November, December, and then I kind of give I'm a big believer in rest and like
Yes.
taking time and giving your body rest and processing everything. And so I don't start back on my routine or even working on stuff until the kids are back in school.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Because I get frustrated if I do it before then.
Yeah. One like question I have for you, because I know like a lot of people kind of feel sometimes like they're in this bucket. Do you ever look back on maybe like goals that you set for yourself? Do you ever feel like disappointed that you didn't accomplish them? Or no, because you're just like, this is how life goes?
No. I think there are things in my life that I'm always going to be working on. And it
Yeah,
just is going to look different. Um, it'll look different. Or I'll start down a path and I'll just think, oh, maybe that's not for me, and
sure.
I just move on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I try not to be too hard on myself. It's
yeah.
something I've worked on a lot. I have good boundaries around that for
You
myself.
do. You do.
Yeah. And in turn, I really try to like not be hard on other people because I feel like, man, we're all out here fighting a good fight and
Yeah.
doing all the things we're trying to do. So, no, do you ever get disappointed?
Yeah, and I think that's like, well, I guess I used, excuse me, I used to. And maybe that's why I was like, oh, I have a love-hate relationship with like, I guess the term resolutions, because when I was younger, I would like set all these like crazy lofty resolutions, and then I would come back on like the next year and I'd be like, I didn't accomplish any of these. And then I would like start feeling a little bit bad about it, but then I'm like, there's so many other beautiful things that were accomplished. So I think for me it was just honestly needing to reframe it. And so I guess in a way, like I do resolutions, I just call them intentions
Yeah.
because it feels less like concrete, I guess.
Yeah, and it's a way that you're not as hard on yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Um, okay, so then how do you keep track throughout the year?
Okay. So some of the things, okay, so like I'll just talk about what some of my resolutions and things are. I think it helps first before I start that, having like vocalizing those like goals or things that you want to accomplish to other people, so that they can kind of hold you accountable too. I'm somebody that needs like an accountability buddy. So I always tell like my husband, family, some friends, and then they'll just like ask me to like, hey, how's that going? I know you said you like wanted to do that. And then I also will put myself in positions to like one of my goals is I want to read a book every month. Okay, great. I'm in a book club. I joined a book club. So, and that's been my goal for the last like 4 years or however long I've been in the book club. But that's why that holds me accountable to make sure that I'm reading that book every month is by having that club and that accountability. Um, and then the other things, like I just write it all down in my notes. And then every single morning, I have a pretty like strict morning routine. And I do a guided morning positive energy meditation. And a lot of those things, like I manifest in my meditation every day of like, I'm going to do this. Oh, this is going to happen. So that's kind of how I keep track. But I also am like very understanding and like I've learned in the last year, and you've taught me a lot about this. I know you mentioned like you really prioritize resting and like taking care of yourself. And that's been a thing that I really tried to focus on in 2024 was like don't sacrifice your mental and physical health just to like accomplish something that you think might make you happy. So, yeah, just taking like inventory of like how I'm feeling. Oh, I'm not going to like pressure myself to work out 5 days a week if that's not, how my body's feeling and if that's not what's going to be best for me. So, yeah, just like the notes and then having accountability buddies, I would say.
Oh, love it.
What about you?
Love it.
Do you have I feel like you always have like good tools for things.
So I it's so funny because I actually am I do almost the exact opposite. Is I write them down and then I put them away. And I don't
Okay.
tell anyone about them. And then I don't know if I feel like through osmosis or something they're gonna
Yeah.
like work out. But I mean, I do reference them when I'm doing stuff and I can like chart my course throughout the year, but I I showed you I have a tracker on my phone. It's called
Yeah.
Habit Tracker, which I love. And it'll
Downloaded
send
it. It's good.
yeah, it sends you little dings through the day. So a lot of like my daily stuff that I want to get in habits of, I put in there. One thing I started doing this year, well, this year, 2025, I started the last 3 days of December. And I know I said I don't start resolutions prior to kids going back to school, but this one was great. Like it had gotten out of control. I love to spend money.
Oh,
And
same.
I'm an impossible person to buy for. You know
I know.
this. My husband knows this. I'm the Ariana Grande song. I see it, I like it, I want it, I buy it. And my husband can't get me anything for Christmas because everything that I've would ever think of or want, instead of putting it on my list, I just buy for myself. And I also had told my children, I was like, we're not going to do a big Christmas this year. We're going on trips next year, no Christmas. And then everyone had all these gifts, and they were like, I thought you said we weren't doing a big Christmas this year. And the spending
Oopsies.
had, I know, the spending had just gotten out of control to the point where I was like, my friend had said this. She's like, I make enough money that I should be able to save enough money to be able
Yeah.
to fund my lifestyle, and instead of feeling like I'm running to catch up with my lifestyle. And so I started a notes call on my notes app, a note that's called things I wanted but I didn't buy today.
Cute.
And then so every day it's like, honestly, Kit, I will show you. It's like 5 or 6 things.
Love.
And then, so I started December 28th, because, the post-holiday
Yeah.
blues were kicking in. And I'm like, okay, I need, well, I love a good lymphatic drainage massage. I myself do not, my lymphs don't drain very well. I get swollen a lot. I also have low blood pressure, so I have to consume a lot of salt, because like the natural reaction for that
Yes.
would be like, well, eat less salt. It's like totally, except then I might pass out. So like there's like these competing factors for the limited physical resources that I have.
Yeah.
So Kit gave me this amazing lymphatic drainage brush
Oh
for my
yeah.
birthday,
Dry
or
brushing.
for Christmas. So I do that. I get lymphatic drainage massages, but I just also was interested. I saw a few. I'm also so susceptible and easily influenced. Like if someone posts about something, I will probably buy it.
Oh,
So
same.
all
I'm like,
these,
oh, must work for me too.
yes, under $100, great. So all these girls on Instagram were posting about these vibration plates.
Bought one.
You have one? I need to come try it. So I had it in my cart and I'm like, no. First of all, where am I going to put it? Second of all, how is this going to work into my routine? So didn't buy that. Put it down, savings amount. But then the next day, I saw the leg compression things,
Mm-hmm.
which are significantly more expensive than the vibration plate, but they also drain your lymphs. But
Yes.
those are my cart, didn't buy. So I just started like putting everything. I mean, I bought everyone I know Skims pajamas for Christmas, including myself, like 3 or 4 pairs, because during Christmas, Skims pajamas are the best. I
They
bought,
are life-changing.
they are so good. And I last year spent hundreds of dollars trying to find an alternative to the Skims pajamas. It doesn't exist. So I bought everyone I know Skims pajamas, including myself, because at Christmas they have a de-spec'd version that is $80 instead of the regular 120. Anyway, so then I don't know why I was like, maybe I need a few more pairs before these go away for a year.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. So then I would add up what I save every day. And then I thought, I'm going to add up what I save every month. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to put a portion of that money into my money market account.
Love.
So 3 days in December, I saved $1,900.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. I'm
It's
proud of you.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then like I canceled all my subscribe and saves in January. So I put the total amount of those into one day. So I'm just like, I'm going to be an active participant in this. And I know I told you, excuse me, I don't usually tell people, but I actually need people to check in on this. I need
Yeah.
accountability community on this
Yeah.
one, because it is ridiculous how much money I've been spending. And so things I wanted but didn't buy is one of my major goals. And that's how I'm
I
keeping
love
track.
that. Okay, that's so smart. Yeah, I mean I heard that hot girls are on a budget in 2025. That's what people are saying. So smart. I mean, I need to do the same thing. I got in trouble with Eric, my husband. He was like, "Whoa, I always call myself the primary bread loser. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just a spender. I'm just a spender. Like Amazon gets me."
Then do you also purge a lot?
Oh yeah. I'm like, I go
Mm.
through phases where I'm like, I want to throw away everything in my life and like start back over. And oh, yeah, like in the month of December before I had my surgery, I was like, I'm gonna try and get rid of at least one bag, like garbage bag of like things that we're not using every day. And I did. And I'm like, that's actually sad. And
Yeah.
I don't even feel like I'm like that big of like a consumer. Like I don't know, maybe I am. I love a home goods trip. That's what gets me is I go to Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Sierra Trading Post, Marshalls every Tuesday. And because I just like love the thrill of like a good
Is that when they
deal.
put
Yeah,
stuff out?
Yep. That's what mine does. I like find the best stuff.
I, I could go, but I just
No,
don't
you
have to
can't
put it
go.
all
No,
in the app.
you can't go.
I mean, I'll be putting money in my money market account, I guess then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, amazing. Um, so Kit, what are you working on for 2025? What are like your business goals? What projects are you working on?
Yeah. So to answer this, I have to rewind back to 2024 because 2024, my theme was like, try new things. And I tried so many new things. I painted this picture behind me. I did watercoloring. I made bracelets. I'm trying to even think what else. I drove trailers. I learned how to do that. I
You started
started podcasting.
podcasting.
Yep, started podcasting. Like just tried so many things, which I loved because it just is like it's exciting to try something and be like, I accomplished that. And so I want to continue a little bit of that into 2025. And one of my business kind of goals with that is I found out that I really do love podcasting. And so I actually am starting my own wellness podcast called Well Necessities. I don't have like a date yet on when that's going to launch, mostly because I tried to record a couple episodes, but then with my tonsils, like my throat got really tired from talking so much because it is just me on there.
Mhm.
So it'll launch sometime in January, but that's like probably one of my biggest like career goals, if you will. And then just like keeping everything streamlined and good for you.
You're so good at it. I did want to touch on your
Yeah.
podcast because I'm so excited for you. Kit has been podcasting for Freshly Picked for the last year. You put out 100 episodes of the Freshly Picked podcast called The Play Date. And that was in about what, 8 months, 9 months?
Yeah. Hmm.
And so if you haven't heard that, go over and check it out. It's a lot of like mom stories, mom confessionals, just anything mom related.
Just like
Um,
the messy, the real. And that season 2 launches next week.
yes, and with an emphasis in new mom, baby,
Hmm.
like that stage of your life. So if you're in that stage, that's a great resource for you. And then she's been talking about I wanted you to bring it up. If not, I was going to because I am your accountability partner. But I
Yes.
wanted you to bring up your podcast because I'm so excited for it to launch. And I hope this is okay to bring up.
Oh my
You and
gosh,
I
of course.
share we have both had uh it's not a clinical term, but it's what it is like a nervous breakdown. We both
Yeah.
had nervous breakdown, and we both shared with each other the tools that have um helped us work through that. And I'm really inspired by the things that you do and how you give yourself a break and how you try all these different things. And so I'm excited to listen because you have like your things that you do every day to help you start out in a good headspace. And so I'm really excited to listen. It's going to be good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It'll be a lot of like me sharing my personal experiences and like things that have worked for me. And then I think that a mental and like physical health journey is always changing because life's always changing. So it's gonna be a lot of me like just trying new like health and wellness things too to just make sure that I'm in like the healthiest, best place. And so I'll have like some guests and then just kind of take you along on different experiences. And my first episode will actually be sharing my story about kind of my mental nervous breakdown and kind of what led me to that, and then how I kind of got on the other side of things.
Oh, I want to share it for the pod, but I also feel like it's relevant right now.
Sure, yeah. I'm like I'll talk about whatever.
Do you want to share kind of maybe just a Cliff's Notes version? I always say make a short story long, but
Yeah,
I also want people to go over and listen when it comes out.
yeah,
So maybe just a trailer, if you will,
for
of it.
sure. Yeah, so okay, so My little girl, my youngest, is 2.5. I had her in April of 2022. For my whole life, have struggled with anxiety and depression. Um, for the last, like, before I had her, I hadn't been on any medicine for like probably 8 years and had been able to kind of control it in a way. I mean,
Mhm.
I definitely wasn't
White
like,
knuckle it.
yeah, yeah. I was just, yeah, white knuckling it for sure. And after I had her, I it hit around month 4. I got really, really bad postpartum depression. And I went and got on some medicine. Like, luckily, my husband was so great and like made me an appointment because I think when you're in that too, like it just is like I can't do one more thing. So he made me an appointment. I got on medicine. Then I started having some other health challenges, with having an autoimmune and thyroid issues. And I was going on and off different medications, and they just weren't working for me. And one day I had a panic attack, and I went to the ER. And they asked me some questions. I won't totally like go into that, but essentially I answered a question in a way that held me in a inpatient psych ward for 4 days, and that was super challenging and probably one of the worst experiences I have ever been through. But um looking at that, it was so necessary for me because I wouldn't have made the changes that I needed to make without that. On top of this, too, with my postpartum depression, I was directing a customer success team for a software startup company, which is challenging in itself. When it's a new product, things aren't working, people are mad, and it's just a lot of high stress and high pressure with zero control. Um, so I think just a lot of those like factors, I was working a lot of hours, I was managing international clients, and I think just all of that together just like led me to my breaking point. But yeah, so then I got out of the psych ward. I was like very traumatized for a while. You helped me out a lot and kind of integrated me back into society, if you will. And then I just started like diving into health and wellness and trying all these new things until I found out what worked for me on a day-to-day basis, got some medicine figured out, and I would say ever since that happened, I've been in like the best, healthiest, happiest state that I've ever been in my life. And I just like look back on that and I feel really sad that it took me so long to figure it out. But now I'm like, I have this perspective and I just want to be a resource. And if I can just like speak to one person or help one person and just kind of like I was so embarrassed that I had to go to the psych ward, and you know what? It's like whatever. Like at least I am on the other side of it, and like I want to make it mean something.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is when I had my nervous breakdown, there was a lot of, I wouldn't say shame, a little bit of embarrassment, a
Yeah.
little bit of like, why couldn't I handle this?
Yeah.
Or why couldn't I have just figured it out? Or whatever it is, you know? Um, but I too started diving into a bunch of different things and figuring out what worked and what didn't work for me, and tried a ton of stuff that I would never do again. But at the time, I just felt like, I'll try anything right
Yeah.
now, you know? And so I'm excited to listen. I think it's going to be such a good time. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah. I'm really excited. And yeah, I hope it like I hope people can get something from it. And yeah, like I said, I just want to make my experience mean something.
Totally, totally,
Oh,
totally. Okay, Kit. Well, this was so fun to
yes.
come on here and do like New Year's resolution, New Year, New Year,
Yes.
new us. Um, just a couple plugs for a few things we're working on over here. We are working on the Growth Collective, which is an opportunity if you want to take your business to the next level. That is starting in a few weeks, and that is going through everything you need to know about your business, auditing it, making things better, helping you with your strategy. And then Kit and I also run on air studios. So if you're looking to start a podcast, um, give us a DM and we can help you. We make it super easy. We do all of the back end stuff. Well, not all of the back end stuff. We do the editing, we do the posting, we help you with all the creative that you need. So yeah, we'd love to help you.
Yeah, let us know. We make it super, super easy. It's like you show up and done.
Done.
Yes.
Easy. Done. Okay. Well, Kit, I will see you
Okay,
later.
I'll see you later.
Okay, bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah, thanks.